No Man's Sky now has ship building. In the latest update for No Man's Sky, you can build Corvettes, and this is my new Corvette starter ship. I'm pretty happy with it. It came out really well, and it really did not take me long to get it. It was super fun to do, and here's how I done it. So, as always, on a fresh start, I began by gathering up some resources, getting my multi-tool set up, and then heading to the crashed ship to repair it and get it up in the air as soon as I could. And once we got it up in the air, I immediately went looking for salvage scrap, and oh boy, I love this. Now, to begin with your little starter ship, it's a little bit annoying, but you'll see that in a minute. But the first thing I've done is really important. I guess everybody does it, and if you don't know, you should do it. Go get your backpack upgrade, get an additional inventory slot. But even more importantly, don't forget to sort your spacesuit out. You got to be looking nice out here in space. Nice. And I forgot to do my train manipulator, so I went ahead and grabbed that. And then it was on to salvaging. As you can see, it says salvageable scrap when you scan the planets. On certain planets, they're the ones you want to head to, and you'll find these on the floor. And even with your starter ship, you can shoot them from the sky, but you do have to land with your normal starter ship to get out and scan for the next salvage locations. And then it's just a case of rinsing and repeating until you've filled up your inventory. Well, that's what I've done. Filled up my inventory, filled up my ship inventory, go to the station, unload, and see what parts I had, what parts I didn't have, until I had enough to put together a salvaging Corvette, I suppose. Just slap it together with whatever I had just to make it flyable, so I could focus on making something a bit more long term. But as you can see there, I had my inventory full and my ship inventory, and then I headed back to the space station for my first drop off. Now, the first time round, I realised I didn't have all the components I needed to make even a flyable basic ship. But I had a few parts, but like I said, it wasn't enough. Checked the shop because you can purchase some basic modules, but I didn't have enough credit, so I did sell some of the random parts you pick up, including some of the purple looking egg items, whatever they are, and some other parts. And I don't know whether I need them later, but hey, it's early game credits and I seem to be finding a lot of them, so hopefully they wasn't too rare. But as you can see, I didn't have everything I needed still. So it was back off to the salvaging planet I found, and like I said, rinse and repeat what I'd done earlier, salvage some stuff, fill up both my inventories, obviously my backpack and the ship's inventory, and then back over to the station to try again. And this time I had a little sort out of the parts I had, and I went through them and I just tried to decide which things I didn't think I was going to use, and then I went ahead and sold them until I made myself a nice little stack of credits. Not the biggest stack of credits in the grand scheme of things, but at the start of the game it was nice, and it allowed me to get the parts that I was missing. Once I'd done that, I started playing around trying to see what I could build with what I had, which wasn't very much, but you know, this was the plan to get anything, you know, any Corvette I could up in the air to begin with, to use it as a salvage ship really, because obviously once you've got your Corvette you can stand inside it and scan outside to check where you want to go and look for salvage, and it's way easier and way more enjoyable than doing it with your normal starter ship. So using the parts I had, this was what I cobbled together. And actually, at the time I weren't too keen on it, but when I look back I was like, it kind of looks pretty funky. I quite liked it. there's a lot of options when it comes to the building of these Corvettes. There's a few things I think they can improve, or maybe it's stuff you can do and I've just not figured out yet and it's not very intuitive maybe, but I wish you could change the orientation on all the build pieces, because some of them you can't change the orientation on. It'd also be nice if there was more snap points, because like for example, you can't snap all the fairings to other fairings or whatever. Like you have to snap them to a hab piece or to a linkage. It'd be nice if you could just snap anything to anything kind of thing. And also free placement would be nice, I think. But other than that, it was really good. It's nice and simple, and yeah, you know, you play around with it and you can come up with some cool stuff. And that's kind of how I like building really on most games, is I just sort of go with the flow, see what comes out. But I weren't sure on this at first, but actually I think it looks kind of funky. I quite like it. This is literally just a couple of runs. You know, this was just whatever I found, slap it together till it worked. That's why it's got a giant reactor on the top, because it was the only one I had. But it works, and it let me go ahead and do some more salvage. So now we've got the Corvette, we can do this. We can stand inside the ship and look around with our scanner, mark our targets, and then fly over to them without ever landing and using up loads of fuel all the time. And like earlier with the starter ship, you can just shoot them with your Corvette, so you don't even have to go down and dig them out. You can just shoot them through the floor, and it makes things so much quicker, and I really enjoyed it. Once that was done, obviously I was back to the station, selling more stuff that I have no idea whether I need it or not. But credits are credits, and I just wanted to get a nice starter ship I was happy with to hold on to for a little while. And as you can see, I made just over 20 million and then begun making some purchases for things I'd need for the construction of my starter ship proper, should we call it. And this is the build of the ship you see at the start of the video. And hopefully I've done it in a way, if you want to rebuild it, you'll be able to follow along. If you look on the right hand side of the screen, you'll be able to see which parts I'm using as I select them. So hopefully it's helpful and works okay for you to be able to make a copy of it if that's what you want to do. Now I will say with this here, when I'm about to put the shield in, I did have to go back and change this because it actually snapped through the ceiling of the habitation unit and it was stuck in a doorway, but you'll see that in a little while, and I go back and change it. Another thing, and maybe this is something I'm being silly with, but I wish when you was looking in the build menu you could see how many parts of something you had. When you select it, I think it does tell you on the right hand side, but when you're looking in the build menu I couldn't really work out what parts I had multiples of. But if you do know and I'm missing it, let me know, but as far as I could tell I couldn't really see until I selected it. I do like the way you can snap certain things through stuff. I wish, again, like there was a bit more option with it with certain things, but it works pretty well so far. One mistake I did make, and I highly suggest you don't do this, is come up with a colour you think you're going to want your ship to begin with and make sure you select your parts as that colour as you're building them, so you don't have to go around and paint them all afterwards, because some of them are under each other and you know it's a bit harder to get to them and paint them, and if you don't paint them you can tell when you walk around. There's the shield I was on about earlier, so I have to change this now. And what I found was I couldn't snap this inside of the reactor now, but with the other radar, or the other energy shield, it actually snapped inside one of the build pieces on top of the ship. So it wasn't going through to the inside of the ship, it was just inside of a part on top of the ship, which is pretty cool. So you can tuck stuff away and hide it. And there we go, guys. That was the end result. I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you think down below. This was genuinely my first build on a fresh start, so I was pretty chuffed with it. I really liked, like I said, I really liked the way the building works. It could do some improvements, but overall it's pretty damn good. And yeah, it come out really well. It looks like this was a prefab ship kind of thing. It don't look like it's necessarily been built. I think it's pretty cool how they turn out. Obviously paint helps a lot. Yeah, absolutely love this thing. It's got 3 habitation areas, so it's got a pretty good size inside, as you'll see now. I've got 4 storage boxes, I think. We've got the nutrient processor, we've got windows on each end of the habitation units to look out. We've got the refinery unit, and we've got a little growing area, the living wall. Love the animation on the doors, by the way, although I've noticed sometimes they don't actually shut, which is a little bit of a bug. As you can see, I've got more storage in here. I think, so I might have had 5 storage boxes in total, which is pretty good. You know, just started the game and you've already got a lot of storage you can carry around with you, which is really nice. Obviously got the mission radar upstairs, a little bed for decor. Don't think that does anything at the moment, don't know if it will in the future, but I thought it makes sense to have a bed up here. And there's your cockpit. Really happy with it. And there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below to the Corvette. I was really happy with it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, cheers.